right, I think we're ready to get going here. Again, welcome everyone to the Sifted AI live demo. I speak on behalf of the entire team that very thankful for all of you who have taken time out of your day to join us and to really get a sneak peek of the developments we've been making to the platform and ultimately outline the different value enhancements that we've been making and how we're going to continually drive value for all the clients that use us to help optimize their shipping. Big thank you to the clients on the calls who have been involved with feedback, really giving us direction on what's going to be relevant to you and your experience. And also to other people who are new to Sifted here and want to learn more about our platform, our product, and ultimately how we're evolving with the market. So quick agenda for the conversation today, quick intros to Will and I, then we can kind of dive in and set the table to Sifted, who we are as a business, why do people partner with us, and ultimately, why are we making these tweaks and these enhancements to our platform, and what direction are we going as a business with the new Sifted AI platform. I'll then pass the reins over to Will. He's going to dive into the platform, show you the new functionality, talk about workflow and how you're able to use this to enhance your day-to-day. At the end of the call, we'll leave about 10 minutes for a Q&A. Quick call outs on that. If you have questions while we're talking here, feel free to insert them into the question box below. We're going to save questions for the end, but I don't want you to forget that question. So we'll make sure to use that time at the end to go back through all of the questions and get them answered for you. And also, if you need to hop off the call early for any reason, or maybe afterwards you want to learn more about Sifted and kind of how this could be impactful for your business, we'll just put a couple links in the chat box. One is going to be a link for businesses who are not partnered with us currently to book more time with me to learn more about our platform, whether or not it would be a good solution for your company. There's another link for current clients to book more time with their dedicated resource to learn more about the platform. And then also a general link to our newsletter. It has a ton of awesome content about different shipping trends, things that are happening within the shipping industry that are really good to stay on top of, just so you have a good pulse on what's going on in shipping today. Quick introduction into me. My name is Roy Schmeidler. I'm an account executive here at Sifted. I've been with the company for about 4 years. I started as a sales development representative, really learning a lot about our product and hearing a ton of problem statements from different individuals. Cold calling a lot of people, maybe some of you on the call today, so I apologize if that was you. But ultimately, that's led me to where I am today, where I'm running that full sales cycle of a company who's interested in learning more, all the way up to a current client for Sifted.
And hey everyone, my name is Will Green. I've been in the supply chain technology space for the past 5 years or so, really focusing on helping parcel shippers of all sizes in making data-driven decisions. So I've worked with companies like Green Mountain Technology and Project 44 to really get behind the scenes and into the weeds of company supply chains, particularly parcel, as well as align them with software solutions that can help add efficiency. So, really, I've had a lot of firsthand experience into working with parcel data, and I'm really firsthand acquainted with all the pain that comes with that, which is why I'm really excited today to be talking about Sifted AI.
Awesome. Thanks, Will. So there might be some people on this call today where maybe it's your first experience with Sifted and you don't know a lot about our company. So just a quick punchline overview of who we are. We are the leading logistics intelligence software in the industry. And when you partner with us, we are delivering data-driven insights, and we pair that with a very powerful tool set to where you can continuously monitor your shipping profile, identify ways to mitigate costs, whether it be staying on top of carrier contracts, analyzing the effectiveness of your carrier performance, and overall just being alerted to both internal and external opportunities to be optimizing your shipping. And ultimately, the reason why we exist in this space and why companies choose to partner with us is more and more frequently, there are a lot of changes that are happening within parcel and shipping in general. They can be internal changes, like you're making a tweak to the way you operate to meet higher demands, higher standards by your customers, or external changes. The carriers are implementing rate increases. They are changing the logic in which accessorial fees are being applied, or even global changes like the global pandemic that had a lot of disruption into supply chain in our lives for quite a few years. And ultimately, these changes, they have a big impact on your shipping profile. And the burning question on everyone's mind is, how are these changes impacting you? How do we quantify that? And more importantly, what can you do as a business to mitigate the impact of these events? When we look at parcel in general, it's a very complicated, it's a very nuanced transportation mode. And there are some trends in the past 5 years, especially that are worth calling out for the conversation. One, I'm sure you all felt average cost per pack has been going up. And simultaneously, the carrier's revenue per pack has also gone up, meaning that in many cases, their margins are getting better while yours are getting worse. On top of that, to make things more complicated, there's this constant shift and back and forth between it being a shipper's market like the one we're in now, or a carrier's market like the one we experienced in the pandemic, that really has an impact on how likely the carriers are willing to be aggressive with you as far as aggressive discounts or an aggressive commitment to being better partners with you within shipping. This complexity, at least from our end, we've seen has made shipping initiatives a cross-department function. We hear a lot of different common issues amongst many different departments all the time when we're talking to different companies. For example, in finance, I have limited visibility into invoicing data, and forecasting my budget has a lot of unknowns to it. Operations people tell us that they have very outdated systems, and there's a constant pressure from management to be more efficient and to run cheaper and faster. Logistics folks are always dealing with the looming Amazon effect of getting your product out the door faster and more inexpensive every single day, while also needing to negotiate a best-in-class contract for their company, not knowing what best-in-class is for their specific business and how far away are they from that best-in-class peer group. And now even executives. Shipping is becoming much more of a higher line item for many businesses. So executives are getting in the game and asking questions about how can they enable their employees to have better tools to identify problems faster and to execute at a higher level. This complexity and this multi-department initiative that we're dealing with leads to a lot of different questions that your company can and really should be asking about your shipping profile. But when we look at the market today and we look at some of the traditional methods out there, you have your traditional consultants and you have other competitors of ours who are looking at kind of more project-based services. Really, the only two ones that they focus on are going to be that invoice audit for carrier mistakes on late deliveries and valid fees like that. And then the classic rate negotiation for your company to secure a better contract. I'm certainly not discrediting those services. They're very important. And we offer tools, services, automation to help with that. But at the end of the day, those two services are very much table stakes for what you can be getting out of a partnership, and really only scratching the surface for the value out there that's on the table to achieve. When you only focus there, you can really only answer three questions. Are my rates competitive? Which carrier should I select? And are the carriers making mistakes that I'm owed money back on? Then we lead to Sifted and our approach, right? Our goal is to continuously optimize 100% of your spend through the entire life of the partnership with you, to where we are leaving no savings on the table by eliminating unnecessary areas of spending across the board through all corners of your shipping profile. We do that by taking a very holistic approach, not just looking at a rate negotiation, but also saying, hey, let's make sure we monitor that agreement, make sure there are no tweaks that need to be made over time, make sure that your discounts are not expiring or you're not falling in and out of a volume tier, and even making sure that the carriers are billing you correctly for those discounts that you've worked hard to achieve for your company. That's looking externally, but also looking internally to your business and the choices that you're making as a shipper. What accessorial fees are you being hit with? Are they the result of shipping decisions that you're making that could be mitigated by making a different decision? Diving into service type selection. Is it the right service type for your customer, where they're at, and where you're shipping from? Same thing goes for your network, and even analyzing your packaging to make sure that you're aware of the dimensional impact of your boxes. When you take this holistic approach to shipping and you're looking at all areas of your shipping profile to go after value, that allows not only you to answer these questions, but your entire company. So we can truly align the value of our company and our platform to yours as well. And this also makes it to where we're not just giving you value in the front end, finding cost savings at the beginning, and then saying goodbye until it's time to renegotiate that contract or time for you to re-up your agreement with us. Because we're constantly monitoring this and pushing opportunities to you, we're adding value and eliminates unnecessary spend throughout the life of the partnership and making sure that at any point in time, you're as optimized as possible for your business. Which really leads us to the main topic for today, our new platform, SiftedAI. Will, would you mind taking them through just some of the developments behind the scenes that were made leading up to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are really four key enhancements that we've made to our platform with the introduction of Sifted AI. First, we've replaced our back end, which allows users to access data quicker and just provides a more seamless experience inside the platform as a whole. Second, we've completely redesigned the user interface to make it more intuitive and easier to navigate, taking feedback from experts in the industry and customers like yourselves. We've also significantly enhanced our algorithms around benchmarking so that you can easily compare, each of your key KPIs to where you sit within the market today. And finally, we've added in and improved in-platform and out-of-platform communications through global notifications and customizable alerts.
Awesome. Yeah, I can speak on behalf of the whole team. There has been a ton of work that has gone into this that has really just led to the excitement that we have to be sharing this with you today. And again, want to give them their flowers for the work that they put in, but also give our clients their flowers for really collaborating with us on this and making sure that whatever we came to for this final product, it's as relevant to not only our clients, but where we believe the market is going. So obviously the main addition to the Sifted title for this product is the AI portion. The reason that we're leaning so heavily on that in the title is because we are using the technological advancement of AI to power the platform and leverage that for the analysis that's going on to identify trends, to analyze patterns within your shipping profile, and really proactively identify those problems and those opportunities for you before they become a bigger issue, so that your team is constantly having opportunities being alerted to you about where you can be improving and what's relevant to your business. Alongside that, those predictive recommendations for key new features, we've also made this a much more customizable experience for every shipper that uses our platform. And what I mean by that is that the platform environment is much more customizable with the KPIs that you can have saved for your views. And you can make this a much more relevant and unique experience to you depending on what is important to you to look at for your KPIs and different data points. And we've also expanded the peer benchmark to include a more nuanced data points to where when we're running these analyses as far as contract savings or even operational savings for your business, it's much more fine-tuned, tailored, and relevant to your specific profile to make sure that it's as relevant as possible to you. So what do you get when you work with Sifted and you use SiftedAI as a platform? Personal context, parcel precision, and powerful privacy. As far as personal context, again, we are tailoring this experience to you, both through the tools in the platform and the great team of people that we have behind the scenes to help you out. At the end of the day, there's a lot of different companies on this call right now, and none of you are the same as far as your shipping profile goes, which means we want every single company who works with us to have as unique of experience as possible and as relevant and tailored to them as possible. Parcel precision. We're not just aiming for upfront savings or one lump sum of savings. We're aiming for zero unnecessary spending throughout the life of the entire partnership with you, so that there's no money left on the table, that at all times you're as optimized as you can be. And last, but certainly not least, is powerful privacy. At the end of the day, your data is your data. It is not our product, nor is it the carrier's product, which means we are committed to protecting that data and being as in compliance with not only your terms, but the carrier's terms for data privacy and security. So I will go ahead and pass the reins back over to Will, and he's going to take you through the new platform, the workflow, and really set the table for the new platform that we have here.
Thanks, Roy. I want to start by emphasizing that the end goal of Sifted AI is to make shippers' jobs easier by universalizing parcel data. The carriers make things complicated today with esoteric fees, outdated portals, and messy reports. The market has recognized the issues out there, and so software as a solution services are coming into play more frequently. But Sifted recognizes you don't need another portal to log into and check up on a daily basis. So that's why the core functionality of this platform is to continuously monitor your complex parcel data sets, evaluate trends, and call attention to potential problems as they arise. You don't need to be a parcel expert or a data analyst to get value from the product. The always-on monitoring allows users to proactively address issues and prevent unnecessary costs. Again, all without having to repeatedly log into various dashboards and search through complex reports. Sifted AI is working for you in the background to catch all this important information, alert you of what's happening, and then to direct you where to look so that you know what's going on and have a course of action of how to address it. So as of right now, we have 4 global notifications that users can opt into receiving, with many more on the way, as well as the ability to configure more tailored alerts specific to you and your business. On the right here, you can see an example email that I received from Sifted informing me of an update within my parcel network. So let's jump into the platform and see what's going on. And so I've landed here now on the new home screen of Sifted AI. Before going any further, I do want to make a couple of quick callouts. One, just to address, this is a demo environment and the platform is still under active development. So you will see some changes and improvements to the user interface, as well as some minor tweaks to the functionality between now and when we officially launch in early November. For current Sifted users, I do also want to address that our new platform is not losing any functionality, reporting, or modeling capabilities. Everything in the previous platform will also be accessible inside of Sifted AI, all with a cleaner and more intuitive UI. And finally, this will not be an exhaustive list of all the new functions and functionality that we are going to be releasing. We're still in open beta with testing and many more features being added again before our official launch. And as I dive into the platform today, I just want to summarize there's a few things we want to start with looking at. One is our capabilities around notifications and recommendations. Then we'll cover the new home screen and all the customization around reporting we see here. We'll dive into the changes around the Sifted score. And finally, we'll get into the ability to configure dashboard alerts. So starting here, I want to go up here and notify us of the changes to the notification settings. So I'm able to come up here and configure notifications specific to me as a user and opt into which specific Sifted monitoring functionalities that I want to have communicated to me, either through email or via in-app experience. Once I've received notification from Sifted, it'll direct me to the platform, and I'm able to go to this recommendations box here on the left side of the screen, where it will start to pull up and analyze all of the alerts that it identified, and then formulate recommendations for how can I best address each and every one of them. So we can see here, these are all of the areas that Sifted has identified where I may have a potential area for improvement or a potential problem. It describes to me the issue. I can click on any one of these to drive in and get the details behind it, and it'll also provide me with a recommendation of how to address the problem. From there, as I've either identified this as not actually being a problem that's relevant to me, I can mark it as not applicable, or if I've addressed the issue and feel confident that it has been resolved, I can mark it as done. And so I will no longer see the alert here, but Sifted will continue to monitor this to make sure it doesn't come up again in the future. So again, this is just to reiterate, we don't want to just help you get healthy on the front end. As an initial user to Sifted, I may see a high value here with a lot of these potential savings, but as the platform continues to run for me in the background, it's providing that continued service of keeping me healthy. So for instance, here I see this relatively large value here for contract compliance. Luckily, this is just a demo environment with demo data, or else I'd be pretty concerned that the carriers are not billing me my negotiated rates at all. But from here, I'm able to actually identify the problem and resolve it.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how many times I hear from different companies I talk to. I don't just want a platform that tells me I'm spending money on shipping. You guys already know that, right? The ability to identify and then quantify different opportunities immediately and then push that to you, I feel like it's going to be a massive game changer to just save you guys a ton of time identifying these problems and understanding how you can go about fixing them.
Yeah, 100%. At the end of the day, we're not here to, replace people or think that we can solve all problems like the flick of a switch, but we're here to make jobs easier and to
Mhm.
draw attention to what problems are happening so they can actually be addressed. The next feature here, as far as Sifted AI, that I want to call attention to that we're really excited about is the addition of the home screen here. So this is a single landing page that when I access the platform can log into. I can quickly get a sense of the overall health of my network utilizing the new Sifted score, which we will get into some detail about behind that shortly. Conditionally see some key metrics around my network, seeing what my current spend looks like, my current volume, and average transit time. But the real power of this page comes as I scroll down here to the performance KPIs. These are actually configurable metrics that I can select as a user so that I can have a single dashboard that shows me all the information all in one place that's most important to me. So I can hit this settings wheel here, and I can actually see that Sifted has dozens of selectable KPIs that I can add to this screen. So I can mix and match which ones I care the most about. And once I have my own dashboard that's relevant to me, I can save the changes and view all the metrics here in one place. So again, no need to navigate throughout the platform. If I just need to get a quick check on things like what my volume looks like, what my transit and network looks like, it can be all here configured what's most relevant to me and my role. Additionally, from the screen, I can now navigate to the new Sifted score page. I think this new Sifted score visualization does a great job showing all the enhancements we made on the back end around the benchmarking capabilities. So those of you familiar with Sifted may be familiar with the Sifted score in our original meter graphic. But essentially, the Sifted score is like a credit score for your shipping profile. So a high score indicates I have a high shipping health, whereas the lower the score is, the more areas for improvement I have. We have now switched over to this spider graph because it provides a more comprehensive visualization of not just how well I'm performing, but also I can see with a quick glance of how strong I'm doing in each of the 6 key areas that Sifted is monitoring and scoring me on. Additionally, we've added in a new peer group visualization as well. So I can see here on this dotted line, not just how I compare to how Sifted is, thinking I should be across any of these metrics. I can also see how peers in the similar market to me are also performing across all 6 KPIs as well. This gives me an easy way to identify where I need to focus my intention on improving and where I can rest easy knowing that I have a strong score in place. And from here, we can navigate into some of the dashboards that we have around the reporting metrics and things like that, around my shipping profile, my accessorial charges, cost per pack, etc. So inside the platform, I'm able to get really in depth around what my parcel network looks like. Again, if you're familiar with it today, you may recognize some of these metrics, just giving me an overview of my shipping network by carrier, service type, service name, and account. You can even scroll up the top now, though, and you see that we actually have all on one screen my service information, my accessorial information, my network information, all accessible at the click of a button. Additionally, as I scroll over any of these graphs, I can recognize that they are dynamic. So I can get a quick reference of how well I'm not just performing today, but at any point in time, and I can see what's changing month over month. But where the real power and enhancements come here is with our enhanced filter technology. So up at the top of the page, I can come in here and create a filter. So I can drill down into the specific shipments and specific aspects of my profile and my network that I may care about. For instance, if I'm only interested in seeing how I'm performing on my express 2-day service types for a particular carrier, I can select the service type that's most relevant to me, such as 2-day, and even add in 3-day or other service types as well to build out my filter. And if I'm only looking at a specific carrier, we have this keyed at the top here so I can select from the drop down. And if I'm looking for UPS 2-day shipments, I can build out my filter relatively quickly. And then you'll notice that all of these dashboards have updated in real time dynamically. In addition to that, I can now navigate from pane to pane as a user with my filter remaining in place. And so I don't need to go and rebuild a new filter or rebuild a new report if I want to navigate throughout the platform. That will stay consistent with me as I go through not just my shipping profile, but looking at my network metrics, my accessorial metrics, etc. And as I navigate back to the top here, I can actually save this view. So as a user, I don't need to come in and rebuild this filter every single time that I log into the platform. I can just type in a name, save changes here, and now it's accessible in this dropdown up on the top left anytime I log in. Furthermore, if this is a view that's always going to be relevant to me, and this is a data set that as a user is specific to me, if I'm only paying attention to specific carriers or specific account numbers, I can set this view as a default. So now whenever I log into whenever I log into the platform, this will be the default view and it will already be filtered upon what is most important to me. So again, the value here is adding more customization. It's can be painful to go in and have to reset up reports every single time you open a platform. Now you can have this
Mhm.
configured specific to you so that you can, at the end of the day, just save time.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what we're seeing is that as shipping has become more complicated, and we've also seen shippers become more nuanced with what they know they want to hone in on to mitigate the impact. So I've actually heard this question a lot recently of like, hey, can we customize these dashboards to only show us the views that we want to see? So it's really cool to see the platform evolving with the market and kind of meeting that need to be as honed in as possible for the different challenges that you're facing.
Absolutely. I think it just speaks to the diversity of the market
Hmm.
today, just the number of customers that we work with, they all have different needs and different interests. And so we recognize the value in providing a comprehensive solution that can meet shippers where they need to be met. And which brings me to the last piece of functionality I wanted to talk about today, which is we already touched on the ability to opt into sifted alerts. But what really drives power here is I can develop my own alerts and exports specific to me. So for instance, if Sifted is paying attention to my oversized spend and my late payment fees, but I recognize that I have a particular interest in my additional handling charges, I can come into my accessorial spend view here and set up a condition so that I get alerted whenever any charge type of additional handling, for instance, comes into my platform. It's pretty easy to do. I can just configure here, type in the charge type that I'm looking for, additional handling, for instance, and then I can enter the email address I would want this alert sent to. This can be sent to myself or really anyone else who it may be relevant to. And then I can choose what I want that message to say. And I can also choose if I want to add an attachment to contain in that as well. So if I'm sending out a graph, for instance, and I want that visualization sent to me as an attachment, so I don't have to log back into the platform to get it, I can send that. If I want to analyze line by line, charge by charge, package by package, what's going on, I could choose to receive a CSV of the data set of the impacted packages that Sifted has identified. Again, just giving that more tailored back-end experience so that I don't have to log in and find this information on my own. It can be we've heard a lot of stories of people having to spend hours or even hours a week or even sometimes a day logging in and pulling data like this down and just checking to see if it happened in the first place. Can rest assured now that when we do have an error or an important information come through, the system is checking it for me. It's creating the report on the back end and providing it to me so I can focus on the more value creation aspect of my job. And so this is the end of the functionality portion that we wanted to cover today. So as we go back into the presentation, we now want to move into the Q&A portion of this. So we'll check the chat to see any questions that anyone may have posted.
I'm not seeing any yet, which means that we were so thorough that no questions left on the table. So that's awesome. It's like one came in.
Yeah, so we're seeing, well, first question I'm seeing come through here is when do you think this will go live? Right now, we're targeting the first week of November for launch. And then finally, another question here is contract monitoring features also available for USPS? The contract monitoring aspect for when we're checking the negotiated rates versus your contracted rates, that feature currently is for FedEx and UPS specifically, but we are, looking for areas to make enhancements. See another question, you will renegotiate rates on our behalf. So that is a service that Sifted offers to our customers. Yes, we will and help with rate negotiations. So we offer expertise on our side to help guide you through these um, excuse me, through these renegotiation processes. So we'll start off with you developing a strategy for where we want to focus on, what areas we want to improve your contract. Sifted will be with you behind the scenes, directing you every step along the way. And when carriers come back with new proposals, we'll actually re-rate that information so that you know whether or not what they've offered is actually getting you what you need from a savings perspective. How quickly is data updated in the platform? So it's essentially real time. Sifted is working off of invoice data. So as your carriers are invoicing you, Sifted is synced to those systems. So we're pulling in data. There is some work on our end to normalize this data and clean it up before putting it into the platform, but it's essentially a live feed.
And Brian, you asked, is this a subscription? Yes, our platform operates on a subscription model on a flat fee.
I see a question around Amazon ground shipping. I think Matt mentioned it's making a push for some of their business. Are we able to absorb and analyze Amazon shipping data? So the answer to that is yes. We do have other customers who are looking to leverage Amazon, so we are actively working on incorporating that data into the platform. I think there's a question here from, can I export your dashboards into my own API? So as of today, we don't have an API connection to other systems. We do offer a lot of capabilities around exporting data from our own platform, as well as connecting to other systems as well. So I think if we'd like to get into a little bit deeper conversations around that, it would be great to have a conversation specific to what you're looking to achieve. Can the alerts be set for a specific account number filter? We have multiple child accounts users set up who would only want to focus on their business unit. So yes, the alerts are actually very customizable here. For basically, you could come in and set pretty much any criteria you could think of. And then is a new contract with Sifted required for this new functionality? Roy, do you want to answer that one?
I was just going to say, if you are an active client with us, no, there's not a new contract that's required. I believe the timeline to start transferring current clients over to the new dashboards is going to be around December.
Okay, so I think we're about at the end of the questions here. I see one question around USPS data being available, which is in process today. And then 2, how long does it take you to process invoices? That's a relatively streamlined process on our side. So after, there could be some work on the front end to get it set up if you're a new customer, but after that, it's pretty seamless. Okay, I think we're at the end of the questions here, but if there's something that we didn't answer to the extent that you would like, or if you think of another question, please don't hesitate to either reach out to your current customer success representative or to Roy or myself directly. We'd be happy to set up a meeting to dive deeper into this.
Awesome. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time. It was great to walk through this new platform, and if any questions come up, as Will said, feel free to reach out to us.